Welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast right here on ChannelOne TV with myself, Jude Duncan, and of course, I'm doing this with Na Oyokote. You saw, or we brought to you not long ago, the sounds, the sights, the feel of all that's happening right here at ChannelOne TV as the caravan prepares to take off. An experience of a lifetime, we call it, and we wish them a really, really safe travel. Early, we had Frema and Eno, who sort of abandoned me, but that's okay. You know, come in studio, join us on a discussion on all that's happening. Now,
hi there.
Finally.
You
know, the wait is over. But I wish them well. You know,
but I wish they could see our true state.
Yeah. You know, but I'll let it slide.
You let it slide?
You know,
anyway,
they sort of hijacked our show, right? But we are back.
What's necessary?
Yeah, we are back, and we'll try and bring the viewers all that they missed out on. So we'll just go through the headlines very briefly. Then we continue with our show for the day. So citynewsroom.com headlines. Mustafa Gban, the deputy director in charge of operations at the presidency, has been speaking. As he says, we will soon expose hidden corruption and crooked deals. Also here, ChannelOne TV FCT FM Heritage Caravan 2025 kicks off today. Mahama has been speaking, the President of the Republic. He says we will airlift 5,000 Ghanaian pilgrims to Mecca for Hajj. Also here, government's net borrowing starts at 7.1 billion Ghana cedis. That's from Finance Minister Ato Forson. Minority boycotts MP's orientation over venue, cites political bias. Also here, 8 dead, several injured in the Bolgatanga Wale Wale Highway. 4 killed, 6 injured in Bumpurugu Yoyo Chieftaincy clash. And also, rather devastating and really, really sad news. KNUST murder case, laptop, phones of deceased found behind Flint Hostel. And also here, Ghanaian businessman Alhaji Asuma Banda dies. You know, philanthropic, was known for his philanthropic works. May his soul rest in peace. A member of the National Economic Dialogue Planning Committee, Professor Gachi, has been speaking. He was on a big issue yesterday, and he said Ghana is facing an economic crisis. And these are some of the big stories on citynewsroom.com. Now, what do you have for us?
I have almost the same on ChannelOne TV as well. But I have Mahama's Agenda 111 claims are false. And this is by Insia Sari. And again, I have the 4 killed and 6 injured in Bumpurugu Yonyo chieftaincy dispute. So 8 killed, several injured in ghastly crash on the Bolgatanga and Bolgatanga Wale Wale Highway. And I have just almost what you have as well. So, and we'll do with that.
Let me bring our viewers some other headline stories on graphiconline.com. Court jails job seeker who stole mobile phone from Shraj office. Also here, the special prosecutor has been listing key reforms to strengthen or to reinforce Ghana's corruption fight. Some other stories here. This is the advice Archbishop Duncan Williams gave to Mahama. You know, he's been speaking when the president met the clergy. And also Mahama, we brought you this story yesterday. Mahama says he knows of only 2 genders. And he says marriage exists between a man and a woman. Immigration falls another cocoa smuggling attempt. And now just before you bring us some details of the stories you've settled on, some foreign headlines, right? The BBC is reporting that Israel blocks entry of all humanitarian aid into Gaza. Wow. And also here, European leaders gather in London for crucial summit on Ukraine war and security. Most Republicans laud Trump after Zelensky showdown, but some express dismay. Vance took the lead in attacking Zelensky. Why? There's an analysis or an editorial of a sort on BBC on the Ukraine, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and the aftermath of that particular crisis situation right now. So see, these are some of the big stories on BBC. You have any stories for us we can delve into now?
Let's delve into minority boycotts parliamentary orientation over venue, cost, and concerns.
Okay.
So the minority has boycotted a 3-day orientation program for members of the 9th Parliament. And the event is currently taking place at the Volta Serene Hotel in Ho. Their decision stems from concerns about the venue selection and the associated cost, which they believe are politically motivated. So the Speaker of Parliament, which is Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, disclosed during the program's opening session that the minority, consisting of the members of the New Patriotic Party, that's MPP, officially communicated their decision to opt out on the 9th of Friday, which is February 28th. So Speaker Bagbin expressed disappointment over their decision, describing it as regrettable and unjustified. So he emphasized the importance of the training, stating that our brothers and sisters of the New Patriotic Party have opted out, giving a reason that is completely unacceptable. Well, the minority also argued that the financial burden of hosting the event was excessive, leading to their decision to abstain. However, Speaker Bagbin defended the choice of the venue, explaining that if a thorough assessment was conducted before selecting the Volta Serene Hotel. So there's always a search team, that's a quote and unquote, there's always a search team that evaluates potential venues based on cost, facilities, convenience, and suitability before a final decision is made, he explained. So despite the boycott, the orientation program commenced as scheduled and will continue until Monday, March 3, 2025.
So that's a big story, you know, but the undertones, you know, there's always something they call the inarticulate major motive, and there's also the inarticulate minor motive, right? The real reasons behind why certain things happen, basically that's what that theory seeks to explain. And the point is that the minority also seem not too happy with the speaker's treatment of the minority leader during the State of the Nation address.
Right.
You know, during during President Kufuor's last State of the Nation address after the election, you know, he was in Parliament when the minority leader at the time, the deputy minority leader at the time, Ama Kofi Boa, told him in the face that this is a timely reminder
of how not to govern a nation,
how not to govern a country. And you know, with all of that, the minority also wanted to sort of
get their chance
to also tell Mahama or President Mahama what they truly felt about but he was cut short, right? And the minority have not been too happy with that and also other things that have happened during the vetting. So they decided to boycott, because the point is that is it the first time they are doing an orientation at that hotel even to begin with? When they were in government, it was happening there. The
same place.
And the economy wasn't in a good state at the time, but it still went ahead. So the minority should come again with their reasons. But yeah, interesting. Let me just bring very briefly this story on President Mahama and the Hajj pilgrimage, because we know that very soon the Mecca trip will be happening, and quite a number of Ghanaians are going to be beneficiaries of government's support program to help them go to the holy city of Mecca. So airlift 5,000 Ghanaian pilgrims to Mecca for Hajj. President John Dramani Mahama has announced plans to airlift some 5,000 Ghanaian pilgrims to Mecca for Hajj this year. Speaking on the matter at the sword-cutting ceremony for the Hajj village on Friday, February 28th, President Mahama emphasized the importance of adhering to the set deadline for payments and ensuring that all necessary arrangements are in place. This year, we intend to airlift exactly 5,000 pilgrims to the Holy Land, and the task force has announced 13th March as the deadline for payment. President Mahama stated. He highlighted that a pre-finance arrangement has been facilitated with a local bank, ensuring that all deposits for accommodation, transport, and other facilities have been paid. President Mahama also instructed the task force to strictly adhere to the 5,000 pilgrim limits, preventing any last-minute rush and complications. So that's the story from President Mahama. If you have any other stories.
Yeah, I have this by Franklin Cudjoe. It says monetary incentives key to boosting anti-corruption efforts. So Franklin Cudjoe, who is the president of Imani Africa, has advocated for a reward system to incentivize Ghanaians to report corruption. And so speaking on ChannelOne TV's Big Issue on Saturday, March 1st, he praised the young journalists for their role in exposing corruption. He also suggested that attaching monetary rewards to corruption reporting would motivate more people to come forward with information. And he expressed disappointment that a recent advertisement regarding fugitives did not include a reward, emphasizing the importance of incentives in encouraging whistleblowers. According to him, attaching a monetary incentive is essential to motivate people to come forward with information, which I agree with.
Yeah, true.
So you look at the number of people that actually unearth corruption issues. They are young people from the fourth estate who virtually take trotro to work. Maybe the incentive structure should change, which I agree. You can, incentivize Ghanaians to say, okay, look, if you hear something, say something, and you will get a reward. I wasn't particularly pleased when certain advertisements were made concerning people who were fugitives and there was no money attached to it. You need to put the reward there, he stated. What do you think?
A corner kick.
Do you agree?
The corruption fight is one that we need to pay attention to.
Right.
I think on that everybody needs to agree. Incentives as a way to fight corruption has always been on the table. As to the feasibility of it is a whole new conversation on its own. But the point is that we have state institutions mandated to fight corruption, right? And I feel like the focus should be on empowering those state agencies. I mean, come think about it. So now we have IOCO, economic crime, right? We have now special prosecutor.
Right.
We had the BNI, which was later transformed or changed its name to NIB, the Bureau of National Investigations. There's a police service, that's as a criminal investigations department, right? So there's national security. We have so many anti-corruption, agencies, but we are seeing the fight still persist. Also because a lot of the time when we catch a big name, we don't use that big name as an example, and we beat around the bush.
And then sometimes
then the new government comes. Then there's a complete throwaway of what the cases are. The dockets are probably So the point is that I think that what we should focus on is to get the state institutions to act irrespective of who is in office, right? And the independence of these state institutions. People have argued that we should even decouple the Attorney General's department from the Ministry of Justice because, this is a political appointee.
Right.
At the end of the day, he's subservient to a president who put him there, right? Certain prosecutions are also political in nature. As to whether he has the independence to go after some of his own people
or not,
right? And it was in that wisdom where this government brought a special prosecutor, right? But the other point is that it's been about 3-4 years, but we've seen
little
nothing, right?
Yeah.
So the fight against corruption, the debates will go on, right? And for me, in a way, I agree with the minority leader when he says that we should find an incentive structure. Right. There's also been a Whistleblowers Act. How much do we even enforce it? So it's a big conversation that we can't exhaust today. But I think that we should be doing a lot more as a people in the fight against corruption. To a very large extent, corruption has won for far too long in this country.
Too long, right.
And it is killing us. Corruption. See, people equate corruption to murder in some cases. And there's a direct correlation because you're stealing I don't want to go on.
You're getting emotional, eh?
Yes, because it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I agree to an extent that we need different ways in fighting corruption. If it's business as usual, we won't make any progress on that front.
I agree.
All right. So now thank you so much for those updates, those stories you brought us today. We had an abridged news review, right? We had an abridged review of the news stories today.